Good morning, and welcome to today's Awardco 101 webinar. My name is Isaiah Bryce, and I will be leading our discussion on how to create and maintain your Awardco budgets. We want to thank you all for joining us and hope that if you have any questions during the webinar, you will write them down and submit them so that we can cover them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A session. So here at Awardco, we see the management of budgets as one of the most crucial roles you fill as platform administrators. One of the greatest challenges to a successful recognition program are bottlenecks in the recognition workflow. We know that one of the keys to successful recognition is timely recognition, and poorly maintained or underfunded budgets can serve as a significant bottleneck in that recognition process. So one of our goals today is help remove some of those bottlenecks. Another important reason for well-maintained budgets is to keep the confidence and trust of the budget holders. The individuals to whom you have granted budget access will be much more likely to utilize those budgets when they can trust that it will be monitored and replenished on a regular basis. Budget holders who are unsure of when their budget status will change or when they'll be replenished will often hold on to those budgets with the intent of spending them later. This can lead to declines in adoption or usage of your platform. So we'd like to help you run through these issues today and help you understand how best to manage your budgets and how best to serve those budget holders. So just a reminder, don't let your budgets become a bottleneck and keep the confidence of your budget holders. So the three areas in which we'd like to focus are on individual budget creation, the creation of multiple budgets via a CSV upload, and lastly, the management of your existing budgets. So let's go ahead, let's dive right into the platform. So I'm going to switch over, I'm going to log into a platform we have created for the purpose of this demonstration. Alright, so here I've logged in my platform. So when you log in, you'll need to navigate to the admin side of your platform by clicking here on the admin button shown on the right hand side of the screen. Once you've been taken to the back end, you'll want to click on the Budgets tab. Here you'll see any existing budgets that you've already created, along with some information about where the funding for your account stands. So one thing to note is that if you're going to add funds to existing budgets or create new budgets, you'll always need funds in your company account, and the total funds available that have not yet been assigned to a budget can be seen here. So let's go ahead, let's walk through the process of just creating one individual budget, a one-off budget in this case. To do so, we'll want to click here on the Add Budget button, and we'll need to assign a name. In this case, I'm going to assign the name of Marketing Budget. Next, we have the option to assign a cost center or assign this budget to a cost center. This allows you to track the flow of funds through each budget and assign those flows of funds to a specific cost center. It's not required, but it is an option that you have. Lastly, we can delineate whether or not this is a taxable budget. In this case, we're going to go ahead and say, yes, this is a taxable budget. Once we click OK, we'll see that this budget has been created. There's still a few things we need to do to make this a functioning budget. The first thing, and most importantly, is we need to assign a balance. To do so, we can simply click on the balance that is currently shown here at $0, and we'll enter a plus sign and the amount we'd like to add to that budget. In this case, I'm going to add $5,000. Once we click OK, we'll see that $5,000 have been assigned to the marketing budget. The next step in the process is to assign budget holders, or people who will have access to this budget. And we can do this in three different ways. The first is by assigning a group to the budget. So in this case, for the sake of example, I'll assign the Awardco HQ group. What this means is that any manager or any individual within the Awardco HQ group with individuals rolling up to them, so anyone higher up in the hierarchy than a basic employee, will then have access to this marketing budget. Groups are created by the hierarchy you send over in your user file. So again, Any managers within the Awardco HQ group would then have access to the marketing budget shown here, the full $5,000 amount. So that's one way that you can assign users, is by group. The next way to assign users is simply by assigning individual persons to the budget. In this area, you can do it by simply searching for this name. So let's go ahead, let's add Nia Hunt to this budget. So what that means is that in this case, Nia Hunt would be the only person with access to the marketing budget. Now you can add as many individuals as you would like to the budget, and you can add as many groups. So if we would like to add one group to the budget, maybe the Awardco HQ group, we could do that. But if we also wanted Nia Hunt to have access to the budget, we could assign her as well. They're not mutually exclusive. You can add multiple groups, multiple users to every budget. The third option for adding budgets is through metadata. You have the option of sending metadata over through your user file. Metadata is a way of dividing your users to different groups, organizations, departments, whatever it may be, and you can assign budgets via metadata. One popular metadata point for assigning budgets is something called position ID. A lot of organizations will have a unique identifier for every position within their company. What this does is it means that if I come in here, I search for a position ID, and I attach that position ID, whatever employee holds that ID will then also have access to this budget. The advantage to assigning a position ID is that if you have turnover at that position, the budget will automatically switch to whoever holds that position ID within your metadata. So if Nia were currently the person under position ID 191296, this would be unnecessary. We wouldn't need to assign her as a user. However, if Nia changed positions, whoever filled that position and then held that position ID would have access to the marketing budget. And again, this can be done in tandem with with assigning users or groups to the budget as well. They are not mutually exclusive. And you can also assign multiple metadata groups. Some people will assign departments, some people might assign locations. In this case, maybe we assign the marketing department to the budget as well. This means that managers within the marketing department will have access to the budget. So there are a lot of different ways in which you can assign budgets to budget holders, and the best thing to do is work with your account manager to figure out which one works best for your organization. So we've just walked through the process of creating one individual budget. For many of you, your organizations are large enough that this would be too arduous a process to do for every budget within your company. So to aid in the process, to speed it up a little bit, we do have the ability to upload budgets via CSV. To do so, you'll simply click on the Upload CSV button here and download one of our CSV templates. So if we download the template, we'll see that template. I'll show it to you here, just one moment. So if you have no budgets in the system, what you'll see is just a blank file. It'll hold each of the following columns. It'll hold a budget ID, a name, a balance, and then the different groups, users, or metadata columns for assigning budget holders. One thing to note is the budget ID column is something that is used internally by the Awardco platform, so you do not need to assign a budget ID. When you create a budget for the first time, it'll be assigned an ID within your platform, and that ID will remain with that budget throughout its duration. So if we wanted to create a budget via the CSV file, we would follow a very similar process. We would come in here, we would give it a name, we would add a balance, and this can just be a number. There's no need for dollar signs or currency identifiers. We can then attach groups, users, or metadata. In this case, I will attach a user. Something to note is that when attaching users via CSV, you won't attach the name, you will need to attach the employee ID. So in this case, we would attach Nia Hunt, who is employee ID 3391. So if we were to take this CSV, upload it into the platform, it would create and generate one budget. But the advantage of the CSV is that you can come through and you can add multiple budgets at one time. So what it looks like when you add multiple budgets can be seen here. Here we go. Excuse the technical difficulties. So the file can hold as many budgets as you'd like. And you see here, we've already created budgets for this platform, and they've been assigned budget IDs. You'll have multiple budgets, and they can all be assigned different users through whatever method you would like. Once you've created the budget file as you would like, we recommend saving it with the original balances, because if you plan to replenish your budgets on a quarterly, monthly, or annual basis, if you have the original budget file, you can simply upload that same file every month and it will replenish all of your budgets. Once you've completed your file, you'll simply come back into your platform. You'll click on the Upload CSV button. You'll search for your file. In this case, we have our webinar budget. You'll open that and you'll click Save. And what will happen when you do that is all your budgets will be created and updated. If you'd like to alter one of your budget balances manually, you can do so simply by clicking on the budget total and entering the change in the amount you would like to see. So in this case, our operations budget has $4,930. If we would like to true that up to $5,000, if that's maybe our quarterly or annual budget amount, you would simply need to add $70, and you could do so by entering a plus sign and the number 70. And we'll see that the budget has been updated to $5,000. If you would like to update budgets through the CSV, again, as I said, you can either upload the original CSV you had that you entered the first time. This will update all your budgets to the original balances. This can be a useful tool if you have a lot of budgets. If not, you can go into the CSV, you can download your current budget file. That'll show you all of your budgets in that CSV format, and you can go in and individually alter the balances as shown on the CSV file. So those are the different ways we have for managing and updating and creating budgets within your Awardco platform. As always, we recommend that as you begin testing out your budgets or working with your budgets, or if you'd like to institute some changes, work closely with your account manager, and they will help you walk through the process and familiarize yourself with the way we do budgets. All right, so we'd like to go ahead and get into the question and answer portion of the webinar. So the first question we have is, can I remove funds from the balance of an existing budget? And yes, you can. The way you do so is similar to the way you would add, actually it's identical to the way you would add funds, and it's by clicking on the balance, and rather than putting the plus sign, you would indicate with a minus sign, and you can take out, let's say in this case we wanted to zero out this budget, we could zero it out by doing a minus 500, clicking OK, and we would see that our sales budget has been limited to $0. And so you can also do that with the CSV file upload. If you came in here, you clicked Upload CSV, you pulled out your current budget upload, you'd be able to go in and change all your balances to whatever you'd like as well. And you could do it on a broader spectrum with all your budgets at once. All right, any other questions? All right, so it looks like we have no other questions. We want to thank you all for participating in the webinar today. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to your Awardco contacts. Have a wonderful day.